Good morning. Thank you to everyone for joining us today to honor our mother's memory and pay our last respects before we lay her to rest. Thank you to the dignitaries here from our local city council. Thank you to the Faith Fellowship Church and the Women's Fellowship for your wonderful cultural presentation of the lace materials and fine mats to drape my mother's casket for her final voyage home. Special thanks to our extended families from both our mother and father's sides who have supported us this past week as we embarked on the cultural festivities and the cultural proceedings, as is customary to my mother, who was a daughter of a pastor and was a pastor herself. And those pastors are held in high regard in our Samoan culture. So what you see here today is the culmination of about a couple of weeks of proceedings and families coming from near and far from all of her sides, both her mother's and her father's, and as well as our father's families who have come to pay respects, not only with monetary offerings, but with cultural offerings of fine mats. So those are very important. As you see here today, we've incorporated into her decoration for her final resting place here at the Civic Center, where so much of her life was centered. When she left New Zealand, she came here to Carson, California and settled with my father's family, the Foisias. And from then on, she made it her mission to enrich this community, not only for her children, but for the community at large, Samoan and all cultures, as our Carson motto is the future unlimited, and we are known as one of the most diverse communities in California, if not the country. That enrichment has helped shape our lives and has made us who we are today. So we are a blend of our Samoan culture, our American culture, and most importantly, our local Carson culture, as you see here tonight. On behalf of my father, Foisia, and my brothers, Duke, Trent, Terrence, and my sister Tiffany, I am here representing us today to eulogize our mother, our matriarch, Elisabetta Liz Yuriko Foisia. Liz was born in Wailima, Samoa at the age of 2. Her and her brothers, she is one of 6 children born to Siosi Fonoti Yuriko and Fofonga Teo Alisana Yuriko, who have both passed on into eternal life. She was the only child, she was the only girl, not the only child, and they doted on her, they treated her with the utmost care, as brothers should, and protected her for her life, for her entire life. She was their taupo, as I've often heard her referred to from my uncles. When she moved here she met my father and they married in 1973. They moved to Carson, California, as I mentioned before. She worked for Pacific Bell for many years. She was a union steward there. She found her lifelong calling for activism. She did lots of things. Not only was she she was active in her professional life, but she was active in the community by joining many community organizations. If you've read her program, they are listed and mentioned in there. forgive me, I wanted to write something, and every time I started to write, I didn't know how I could possibly eulogize a woman who's meant so much to all of us, and to try and condense her life into a 5-minute speech, trying to condense 72 years of living, and this one moment became overwhelming, to be quite honest. But instead, what I will say is, my mom was gracious, she was compassionate, she was a fighter, she fought to the very end. Her teachings, her legacy has been instilled in her children and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. She was named after Queen Elizabeth II. So Elizabeth is the Solomon version of Elizabeth. And one of the quotes that I love from Queen Elizabeth is that grief is the price we pay for love. Although our hearts are hurting, and yes, this grief is great, there's no possible way we can attempt to fill the void she's left behind. But we will try. We have a renewed sense of spirit in honor of our mother and what she stood for. Her life had so much purpose. And in her final moments, we wanted to bring her home so that she could be around those that she loved and cherished the most. And before she passed, as we were sharing just some of her last thoughts, I mean, she knew she was transitioning. Kids were coming, all of the family members who maybe had not seen her, in recent times due to COVID, due to illnesses. They were pretty shocked. But she still tried to comfort them. She still tried to offer her pastoral skills and tried to let them know that she was going to her eternal home. Mark Rose is a writer who said to honor the compass you've been given and follow its guidance. Mom, you are a compass in this life and next. We'll continue to follow your lead with God's promise so that we will be united in heaven. Thank you.
Not much of a fear.